Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. My good people, good evening wherever you are, good day wherever you are, because we are all now residing in different parts of the world. Some are in Zimbabwe, some are in the United Kingdom, some are in Australia, some are in Canada, you name it, different places, Dubai. I've just come here to give you a serious update. We always say, when information is prickling all over the place, then you know it's just unraveling of the feathers, but nothing is taking place. But when information starts to run scarce on digital platforms and social media, then you know intelligence information is now at work. I'm here to give you a heads up of the position of our country, Zimbabwe, a country I love to heart. I've got my big brother, Philip Chabata. I love him to bits. He said something that I will now quote from here on. He said, politics should start to give, if not allow, us as brethren to start to break bread and share, regardless of which side you are. So whether this is a ZANU-PF in divide fight that's happening or brewing or already in motion, there should be room for people from different opposite sides to be meeting with each other. I saw his photo and I just said, this can only be God. You don't need to hate somebody because they are on the opposing side. You've got to respect that they are having a different view to what you are having. I once reached out to certain people and said, you know what? Because I knew exactly what's happening behind the scenes. I said, you know what? There are some medias that needs to be silenced. They might look very small, but at the very same time, they are causing discomfort on the social media and to the people of the nation, of the native nation of Zimbabwe. Some might have taken heed, but not acted. But I can tell you, as a data systems analyst, it causes a lot of friction and resentment and unsettlement amongst the citizens. Here are things that's happening. And this information that I'm sharing, I'm helping the sitting president's camp so that they know exactly what's brewing behind the scenes. And at the very same time, the other opposing camp, so that they know what is being planned, although I know some of them are appraised. But at this point in time, information is now being limited to a lot of people, because when intelligence is moving, it moves silently like the waters of the oceans, but very powerful and destructive, if not realigning and bring us back to our original position. Let me get this one. I actually had to do some notes so that I don't skip anything from what I was being told and what we have discussed, and where I thought I could step in and help. Remember, I told some people I'm an IT specialist. That has always been my job. I'm an IT system specialist. I'm known for that. From back home in Zimbabwe, right here into the UK, I'm back home again in Zimbabwe. The situation that we are faced with is needing more of IT and political intelligence than anything. The masses are the last people in this jigsaw puzzle. Listen to this. The army has started to trace down the names of people who altered the V11s in the 2023 ended elections. And it has been confirmed that names have been taken. When you hear them saying names have been taken, it means to say now there's proof and tangible evidence as to how the people were identified. I'm going to run through all of this, because they cannot identify those people without consulting with the IT experts in the intelligence system. And listen to this. The rigging of elections is said not to be a scandal, but is now regarded as a crime, according to the Zimbabwean law. If it's a crime, then it's going to be pushed further into it being a treason. This is exactly what's brewing behind the scenes. It's saying you cannot just rig elections and just allow it to be called a scandal. It's gone beyond a scandal. It's a crime. And if it's a crime, the political intelligence and the political legal team will explain to you how this is going to be classified as treason. At this point in time, even the CIOs, the operatives, they are already sweating on it because they have known how things have been invaded into. And if you're a very active player in all this, what is now being classified as dirty work, please be on guard because things are not looking very good. The military has now demanded full access to all the V11s, not some V11s, not part of the V11s, but all V11s. And there's teams that have now been put on the ground. These are teams that I want you to understand. Remember, let me explain this. I am one of the 14 SAN certified personnel in Zimbabwe. I have been since 1996. I've been one of the SAN certified personnel in Zimbabwe. When you talk of SAN Systems, which is now owned by Oracle Systems, we are talking about the MOD systems that they use, because those are the most secure, robust systems that can never be broken into. They are not like Microsoft systems. Those can be hacked. That's why you see your mobile phones can be hacked. But if you are running on the SAN certified systems, you are running on one of the most secure servers ever. Even the American intelligence system, that's what they use. The United Intelligence System, that's what they use. Zimbabwe has got that. So just take note of that. And I will come into this. So there's teams that have been put on the ground to deal with this. And obvious, they will be consulting with one or two people. They will reach out so that they will see where we can help here and there. The position stands like the data analysts are now in position and have already started doing their assignment. The strategic analysts, they are already in position. They have already started doing their work as well. The military legal experts have also been infused. So the table as of now is consisting of those three teams: the data analysts, the strategic analysts, and the military legal analysts. They are trying to come out exactly with tangible evidence and occurrence of how things went during the voting of the 2023. This would not have been, I tell you, had everyone swallowed their pride, sat down and accept their flaws, so that they take a round table to discuss on these things. Inconsistencies, duplicate forms, rewritten numbers, and digital signatures that didn't match have already been found from the systems. I can tell you things are not looking very good. Such information is not meant for public domain. That's why you see you're no longer hearing noise on social medias, but now it's time for the intelligence system to be flowing through. Inconsistencies, it's one big letdown for the people that were holding or were responsible for the upkeep of the information. Duplicate forms have also been found, as much as we talk about rewritten numbers, where numbers have been altered. At the very same time, digital signatures that are always entered into the system to conclude verification didn't match with what's on the backup servers. This isn't now anymore about politics. I can tell you that. This is now more about the protection of the Constitution. The sitting president has always said, I'm a constitutionalist. He knows that it's the one that needs to be protected, adhered to, and respected. So this is no more about politics. It's all now to do with protecting the Constitution. A altering of government documents is not and cannot be classified as a clerical error. Altering of government documents is classified as sabotage. So what is classified as sabotage? Where does this leave us? It means to say logs digital changes have been made to the ZEC servers through the verification system. This is unacceptable at all levels. This is unacceptable at all levels. So the logs of digital signatures have now been changed. Changed on the ZEC servers through the verification system. It's a thing that is now being seriously looked into. Why is it going to this extent? It means to say the system is shaken and everyone is quaking No wonder why you don't hear anybody making any comment about the current situation. 3 ZEC officials, I can tell you, I can confirm because it's been given to me, I've been told that 3 ZEC officials were now being questioned in the barracks under a military integrity protocol. What this entails is no lawyers, no solicitors are allowed to represent nobody, because it's the military defending the constitution. So the 3 ZEC officials' names have been handed over. These are not things for public domain. So no lawyers in this case, no headlines, just silent interrogation. When you see that happening, then you know intelligence is now at work. This is no longer about rigging. This is now everything to do about treason. You know, when things are going right and you're on the right side, you tend to forget that one day things can turn around and you being untouchable can be overturned to you being very vulnerable. At this point in time, I'm just telling people, if not warning them or advising them, please don't be too loud on social media, especially when you know there are some people who are hurting. And above all, the case that has been brought on public domain by this person of Geza, it's not a case that can simply die a silent death. It's a case that's going to be needing everyone to be involved. What has Geza done? Geza has opened a can of worms onto the public domain. And now the data linen is being watched on public domain as well. His messages are not there to beg the military per se, as people are concluding. No. If you do that, you are shallow in politics. Sorry to say. But let me help you. What Geza is now doing, asking the military and the general, the retired army general, Constantine Chiwenga, to help the people. He is just stirring anger within the electorate, but he knows exactly what's happening behind the scenes. So don't confuse his utterances. It's all going to add up when the jigsaw puzzle is being put together. As of now, keep watch of that guy. And certain media handles need to be closed down because they are unraveling a lot of feathers. Questions that you might be having are, who altered the V11s? ZEC has always claimed for transparency. So who then might have altered the V11s? This is where people like myself, IT specialist people, systems analysts come into play and try to find out when such a question has been handed over. Not everyone has system access to alter data. Any data within any system has got access rights. I'll give you a good example. If you work in the banking sector and you're a bank teller, when you log on, your access rights only points you to allow you to do transactions, deposits, and withdrawals. That's why you see amongst the tailors, there's somebody who's called a senior tailor, who is the one who can further on to give you anything that needs further changing. Let's say somebody has withdrawn wrong fees from wrong account and money wants to be put back before they do the second withdrawal from a different account. The front tailor's access rights does not allow them to do that. They would need a senior one who will log in using their own logon credentials so that they have better access rights and they've got the rights to do those alterations. Everyone within any system has got limited access rights. Even myself as an administrator, there is things that I cannot access that is being used by the daily users. If I want to help them change something within the system on the programming side, I can do on the programming side, but I'll have to ask them to write to test everything from the front end. Reason being, my access rights does not give me full access rights to the whole system. It only gives me access rights to programming and making changes to the system, but not transacting from within the system. So, who might then have altered the data? The following divisions are now under serious investigation. The IT Systems Department, which is responsible for, which is or was responsible for the secure upload of the V11 results. So that's one department that's now under serious investigation. Number two, the regional command units who sent in verified results from each constituency or district, they are also under serious investigation by the military. Number three, the data review committee, those who are tasked with consolidation of final tallies before the release or the announcement of the results, they are also under investigation. I repeat those three. Number one, the IT systems department. Number two, the regional command units. Number three, the data review committee. Those three are now under serious investigation by the military. We move on. You've got now to understand, because of those departments, there's people that head them. It's those people who are now being questioned, and they've got to make sure that they come out clean. If not, they are going to be in for a serious charge, which could be heading to treason. So everyone has got the right now to be trying to claim their name. There is 7 individuals that are now under full surveillance. One of the 7, 2 of them, one has been given what we call indefinite leave. You cannot leave the country at this point in time. They are now under full 24/7 surveillance. Number 2, another one was been told also not to leave the country, because some people, they work, one of them, from what I'm told, has been given a diplomatic position. So they've now been told not to leave. I'll not disclose names, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to tell you how the system is standing at this point in time, the position that has been taken. The mistake that has been made, which has now been discovered by the media people, by the IT people, information technology people. They have left what we call a digital footprint. Whenever you do these things, please don't leave us behind. We help you a lot when it comes to how to clear the digital footprints. But if that hasn't been done, it has now been identified. So the digital footprints are now discovered. How did the army pull this on out? How did the army pull it off? The army, a joint team of Zimbabweans and Russian experts, are sitting on table trying to verify, making sure that they crack through everything. No wonder why all these digital footprints have now been discovered. How does it work? I'll explain this to you as an IT specialist. A full metadata audit has now been deployed. When you talk about a full metadata audit being deployed, there is 4 things that we look at. Number 1, we look at the digital timestamps. Number 2, we look on the IT based addresses. You know, every IT system or every IT gadget that you use, it's got what we call an IP that it uses to access information. Number 3, we match the logon credentials. Number 4, we do what we call cross-reference or full CCTV footage. This alone can get any person to be picked anywhere, regardless of what gadget you might have used. So this one becomes a very easy one, because everything was being commanded from the command office and from the ZEC office. So the CCTVs there will identify the individuals who were visiting, what they were doing. We then also look at the digital timestamps, who logged in, accessing what, at what point in time. So if you log on trying to access the results, it will also show in the digital trail. That's what we call a footstamp. So when you look at this is what we call a full-blown digital forensic audit. It's not as easy as I've explained. There's a lot of things that we do behind the scenes. You just need to know the basics or the surface part of it. But a lot is going to be extracted from it. It's now known, I can make it and put it in public domain. It's now known who made the changes, when, and from what computer, and which server they used. Jesus Christ. You cannot work in IT and be daft. You need to be intelligent when you are working with these systems. What has been discovered? What has been discovered is the original V11s hidden under the deep folders of the server. And there is a digital paper trail which leads to the real people who did the amendments of the V11s. What am I saying? It's gone too serious for it to be discussed in public. So question is this treason? That's where the legal bombshell comes in. Is this treason? Section 20 of the Zimbabwean law, let me just tell you what I've been told on the law side. Remember I told you any fact given, we have to transform it into a system for us to be able to interpret it using the systems that we design. So it's very simple. Section 20 of the Zimbabwean law defines manipulation or altering of voting material as a criminal law. So there's legal people, legal experts who are going to make sure that they are putting everything right to make sure that a treason charge can be raised against these people. And I repeat it, Section 20 of the Zimbabwean law defines manipulation or altering of the voting materials as a criminal law. But because military is involved, we are now talking of national security breaches. It moves from just treason, or it can be aided to treason, because now there is national security breaches. Any person who breaches national security rights, you are straight away, definitely without fear or favor, going to be charged with treason. That's why the military is now involved. This will be classified as a constitutional betrayal. And for that, it is treason. And military legal experts are now being consulted on how to frame the charges. So if I had my big brother, the hothead Tendai sitting there, he's not a military expert anyway. He's not. No, Tendai is not a military expert. We have got people who are military experts who are within the KG6 in there. They know the military law. So they are now crafting to see how this can be classified, how they can come to frame the charges for it to be classified as treason. And once it's classified as treason, you know, in Zimbabwe they don't hang people, but it's life in prison. How much, if that happened, how much were you paid? Was it worth it? And where are we heading? When you hear of silence, when you hear of silence and internal panic, you will never hear a further move. You will not see people coming to make comments on public domains. So the fact that the social media has gone quiet because there's no news to report, it means to tell you that something serious is brewing inside. This information I'm giving to the team of the sitting president, because they are the ones who are now mostly being deviated from accessing this information. So I've put it just for them to help. I don't want to be very, very attached to this, but all I can tell you is things are not looking very well. Look at it. At this point in time, you don't get to see public panic anymore. There is no more public noise. There is no more just these people who say, if you hate so and so, just say boom. There is no more lies flying all over. The silence of Geza is now being confused and being commented by people who are not even qualified to comment about his silence. So if you hear any person who's talking about the silence of Geza, just know they are not aware of what's happening. I've got simple questions. Do you think Geza doesn't know Nyoka Mabuno? I'm just asking you questions. Do you think the vice president is not knowing about everything that's transpiring? Do you think the posting of Millie Baloyi is just information just for her to tell you about the Miss whatever, Miss World, Miss Universe, Miss whatever? No. It's what we call building of personal CV on a good frame, so that whatever happens or is intended to happen, if it goes through, they tend to be the most, if not best, candidates to replace as people move to the next transitional government. Things are not looking good. I can tell you that. There's panic that is brewing within the current camp. People are not commenting. people are not saying anything, but things are not looking good. Keep tuned. I don't usually continue to come often because I'm not here to entertain. Neither am I here to waste time. I only give you things that are 99.9% accurate. If I was Tinashe Mugabe, I would say the probability of paternity is 99.9% to whichever side you think it's going. But things are not looking very well. Things are not looking very good. And you will not hear anyone from the top rank, from the command chief, commenting on these things at this point in time. Everyone is just quaking their legs under the table because no one knows exactly where we are heading now from here. The military is not going to come public about this. But I can tell you, I once told you, pray for our country. We don't want flag B, but we want flag A. And I say pray for flag A over flag B. With this information, just sit back, relax, chew. Follow, like, subscribe, share. Whilst I share with you information that will keep you grounded and be observant. A time for the people to be called will come. It might not come tomorrow, might not come day after tomorrow, but allow the systems to do their business, to do their job, and then you'll play your part. People of God, I love you. Have a brilliant day. All yours forever. Accurate information. Dr. McClouds. Bye for now.